Matt Bader and me and Ham went on the I forget, it's the music one. The Rocket, I think it's called. I don't know, but it's the one. The what? Hollywood Rocket. Yep, that was a fun one. And we got to pick our music in the seats, and then you are all the way like facing like 90 degrees upward, and then you go like a 90-degree drop back down, and it was really fun. And Matt took me and him especially because we wanted to go, so that was really nice of him.
Also, I forgot to say that some of us wore socks with tennis shoes on, and we all went on a water ride first. Yeah, and that was not a good decision because when I got to the hotel room, took off my socks, they were all wrinkly, and it really hurt.
I will probably say something about that. I got it the worst because in the middle of the day, I started feeling lots of pain on my feet, and I was like, "Oh gosh, my feet hurt," and and everyone thought it was like, "Oh yeah, my feet ache." No, I was getting blisters. Yeah, I probably shouldn't go into too many details about that because this is happy time. Great, it was beautiful. We had fun at Universal. Here.
All right, so Dane had brought. Oh, sorry, I'm Addie Lent. Sorry about that. Dane brought tickets for us to when we got to Universal, and he told us to use the whole day. And you know what? I did. My dad, Grace, and I. Shana, were you with us too? I was making sure. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Don't worry, Chesney was there too. And Shannara. I don't have a very good memory. But we used that whole day until the park closed. We were the last ones on the bus. They had to wait for us. But we were there until the park closed. We were using that whole day.
Thank you. Okay, so there's this one really good ride. Oh, sorry, I'm Sky. There's this one really good ride where you go to the castle, and it's inside the castle. You get strapped in, and you just go everywhere. And it was just super fun, and we got to go on it twice. So it was really cool. Okay, so the ride that Sky was describing, it was me, Sky, Emily, yep, those three. We were in line and we were waiting for like an hour and a half, and yeah, cause the ride was like delayed and broke, and then so we got out of line to go eat supper, and then right when we got out of line, it said, "Oh, now it's open now." So and then we were so mad. But at the end of the park or like at closing hours, we went on it again, and it was only like 5 minutes. So yeah, we ran in line.
Yes, that group that they mentioned at the end there, they proved that if you're in line when the park closes, you get to go on the ride still. So we did. We went through that one last time. As long as you were in line, they let you keep going until the end. So we were running to be in line, but we made it. And there were some people who were a little grumpy with us, but Dane celebrated that we used the entire day because we paid for it anyway. So yeah, again, your group was represented well in that moment because they were always looking for those people who were wandering around in a smaller group. Hey, did you guys get to do this one yet? Do you guys want to come with us? Making sure people didn't get lost because we had made the rule of 3, and then sometimes we'd see people in 2s or 1s or 2s, and this group would always, hey, I see you're wearing the blue shirt, come join us. Used to be in our group, right? And so they were very well. Even in that fun day, they stepped up as leaders, and so you'd be very proud of them in that moment as well. I don't know who's next.
Hi, so I'm Colin, and the next day after the Universal experience, we went to the mall for a couple hours, and that was my favorite part of the trip, I think, was exploring and seeing some stores that you don't see in North Dakota. So, and then after that, we went to the airport, and even though the weather was kind of tough, we made our connection and got home safe, and that was good. Got home about midnight, so it was a late night, but. Oh well. Yeah, I unknowingly walked out of the security part of the airport, so I had to go through that twice. But, yeah, so I guess we as a youth group would like to thank you for your support, and I'll hand it over to Alyssa.
Oh, yes. Okay, so at the, like, when we... Sorry, okay. So when we first got on our flight at the beginning of the trip, we were kind of just consolidating to, like, just our youth group because we didn't really know anyone yet. But by the end of the trip, we were, like, knew everyone on our plane, and so we were, like, having fun with everyone else. We had a plane that had, like, screens, so we were, like, playing with people on our, like, screen games from, like, across the way because we had made new friends from other groups and other churches. So we just really built connections with people across the Dakotas, and so that was really fun. I also got to meet the pilot because we were waiting in line, and so he welcomed us over. So that was fun.
Yes, so a couple of people did get on the first flight. First flight or second flight? Second flight you got to go in the cockpit?
No, the
First flight. So on as we got into the plane on the first flight, and we got to remember, our first flight was the one that there was a little bit of anxiety about maybe someone might not make it, but we all made it, and we all got to eat. So that was good too. We all got to eat. And so as we're getting on the plane, I look over and I see that there's two of our Dakota's people, including Alyssa, in the cockpit of the plane. And I'm like, okay. And found out that I don't know how you got selected and chosen to come and hang out into the pilot. Right. So these two ladies got to have this neat experience. But it actually made a huge difference, again, because they made the effort to talk and open up and talk with the pilot while we're flying, and we're finding out that weather is making it so we might not make our next flight. Things are getting kind of hairy about our connecting flight. The pilot is talking through, okay, there's a whole bunch of you that are trying to get from this flight to this flight. This is exactly where we're going to land. This is the time we expect to get off the plane. This is the way you guys are going to go. We'll be good. I've been talking with the ground crew. It sounds like you'll have plenty of time to make it. So because we have some outgoing people, not just me, who are willing to talk to other humans, that we were sort of kind of ushered and encouraged on our journey. So that's it. We would love to take any questions you have about any part of this experience. If there's, oh yes, and she kind of downplays it. There is a lot of seashells here, but so she did not get to go with us the first time we went to the beach. Everybody got this certain amount of time set aside. It's not scheduled. Anybody can go to the beach at that time. So a lot of our group was like, cool, we're all going to go to the beach. Okay, but Ham wanted to be in the choir. Okay. Ham wanted to be in the choir, and she was the only person from the Dakotas. You saw how big our group was, 200 and some, right? I don't know how many we have exactly in our, but it was a big group. Only one. She was the only one from our group that wanted to be in the choir. And so that was scheduled during that time when everybody else was getting to go to the beach. And so she missed out on it. And we all had a great time at the beach. And yeah. So then... Yeah, so we were getting kind of exhausted. It was kind of a long day, but I decided, since she didn't get to go, I promised her we'd get to go at night, which I found out later that other adults had said the kids couldn't go swimming at night. But I'm a lifeguard. It's okay. And I had a headlamp. What could go wrong? So we went out and we played in the water, and seriously, I have no idea how she can find so many shells in the dark. Like, she was so fast. Right? And so anyway, we had a really good time. I did big pile. And I don't know, another thing that happened while we were on the beach, that somebody got yelled at twice for being out too far. Went out too far, and so one time it was an ATV with speakers and a siren saying, come back in. And another time it was just whistles and yelling and waving. But yeah, so that was me. I was the one who was out too far. Okay, all right. And you're used to this beach thing. All right. Anybody have any questions that you'd like to ask these people about their experience? Because they did tell just highlights. There's lots of great stories within there that they were not apparently not wanting to stand up and say. Are there anything specific you want to know more about? Workshops. Tell a workshop you went to and what'd you learn?
I went to, I forgot, what was her name? Yeah, Andrea's art workshop. And I learned how to make a bracelet, and it was fun.
Praying through art. Andrea Pluderman from Fargo led a thing, and it was the most popular. It was by far the most popular workshop there. She had planned for 50, and she usually had 50 on the chairs and another 50 sitting on the floor, trying to do this prayer through art. So that was one of what another workshop you ever did?
I went to a workshop about how like Youth 2023 came together and like all the design and stuff that it went through. That was pretty cool.
So in the workshop that Sky just talked about, there was these what was it, like two or three North Dakota girls sitting behind us, and so the leader of that workshop asked like what our favorite ice cream was, and the people behind us they were saying that since we're from North Dakota, our favorite ice cream is huckleberry and corn.
I did a leadership workshop where they just talked about like different steps in leadership and benefits of it and stuff like that.
And contrary to popular belief, she didn't lead it.
I did not. I just participated.
This isn't really a workshop, but I went to the sensory room, which was a space set aside especially for people that needed to digest the conference in a different way. For people that it was too loud for, it was played softly on a TV. And for people that needed something to do with their hands, there was fidgets in there. For people that needed music or like nature sounds to be playing, there was like a little blow-up tent that had like water trickling noises in it and like rain noises, white noise. So it was a big space too. It was probably about the size of this hall or bigger. So it was a really excellent space for the people that needed it, and a lot of people really enjoyed it.
Can I have it? Okay. Sorry. You know like the devotion, little devotion pamphlet that comes with Bibles. What's the fancy brand that? Yeah, Upper Room. I was told that I could write for the Upper Room, and then they would send it to the Upper Room people. I'm assuming that mine didn't go to the Upper Room people because I haven't heard anything yet, but you'll never know. That's still cool, though. Yeah, I wrote for the Upper Room. And then they said, "Here's my number. I like your writing. Maybe you can keep writing for the Upper Room." I'm not the type of person to write a lot. I mean, I do write a lot, but not in the way that like the Upper Room would like. But it was a fun workshop either way.
Okay, so at the conference center, there was this really good speaker. Her name was Rachel. And she talked about her like experiences in high school and like how she felt close to God, and she brought me and probably a lot more people in tears multiple times about like her talking and stuff.
She was just really good about like relating to the kids and everything and relating them back to a God moment.
So that a little bit of an explanation as to what the setting was. When they talk about the large group setting, it was, I think, 3,000 youth in one space. 3,000 youth, and so it's no matter what was happening, it was loud. No matter what was happening, it was emotionally intense. No matter what was happening, it was a little bit chaotic, right? No matter how much the people on the stage were organized and everything was like flowing the way they wanted it, there were still 3,000 youth in a room, right? And so having this sensory space, this intentional space where you're getting the same thing. There's still the screen is still up there. It's still playing. The people who are outside, you're reminded that this is intentionally a quiet space, a lower energy space, so that people aren't weren't supposed to be throwing balls around or whatever in the room, right? Which sometimes did happen. We had to shut that down, but that's okay. But they had this space set aside so that everybody could be a part of the event, even if that chaos wasn't your thing, even if that loud, because the volume was high. I mean, the music was is very, very stimulating. Yeah. Emotionally too.
They also had headphones for people that needed them to be quiet, but so that's insane because those are super expensive and not easy to get your hands on. So the fact that they had extra of those to give to people is excellent.
Just to point out, can I say I have autism, so I have to buy my own headphones. I also have a cousin who had autism, who has autism. Excuse me. She still has autism. You can't really remove those types of things. Anyways, when I bought my own headphones, they were like $50? I don't know. They were used for gunshots, so they were really, really expensive. Yeah. And so the fact that they were giving them out, it blessed my beautiful autistic heart. And my spare headphones that I got from that event, I decided to give to Maddie, my cousin, because she was struggling with her autism and overstimulation and stuff, and I just felt like that would have helped her a lot. You need to speak.
So one other thing I want to share that from the leaders, because she just said it. So my friend Ham, my colonel, okay, went to the choir, and we were sitting there waiting for the rest of the choir to show up, and I mentioned to the person who was kind of organizing, I said, this is my friend Ham. Ham has autism, so there's some things that will help her, things that might cause a struggle, and Ham just started sharing. These are some things that really work for me. These are some things that might make it more difficult for me. These are some things that I do when things aren't going so great. So in that moment, taught this leader, this organizer of this choir, how to better serve, how to better be available. And Ham has that gift. Ham shared that in a way that it inspired probably 4 or 5 of the leaders of the Dakotas to go back to their youth groups and talk about how can we do this better. Okay, I'm not done yet. Wait, don't call me kind yet. I'm not done yet. Then we got to the point where in the worship service of the last day where they were actually singing. And up front, there's this group of people who are passionate and excited about what's going on, about leading worship, about being a part of what God's doing in the world. And do you remember the names of the songs?
I know. I remember that one was the Love is Love canon. Another is This Is Who We Are, and another I forgot the name. I don't think so.
It's embarrassing because it made Pastor Dane cry. Now I know it's not that hard, but still, but the reality was it's all about inclusion. The song was all about inclusion, and Ham was up there singing like crazy with passion, and the camera's coming on. Her facial expression is, "This is the best moment in the world. Like no one could have a better moment than this." And it's on her face, and the whole room is seeing it, and Pastor Dane's weeping out loud, sobby, snot crying. It was so funny. Anyway, but the joy and the understanding of what that means, right? If we talk about the United Methodist Church being about full inclusion, about being everybody has a place, everybody has room, and our Ham loving it and naming it and sharing it and showing it, it moved people. And again, you have a leader amongst us that is willing to say, hey, I might be the way everything works for me might be different from how it works for you, but I still have a place here, and I still have something to say, and I still have something to share, and I have something to share right now.
Okay, This may be like a very small detail, but I was very happy with this. I was the only person to hit the high A flat, and the last song of the last note of the last song. It was "This Is Who We Are," and it was one of the most complex music things that I was ever given. And also, a lot of people helped me. It was great. I was very, very happy. Thank you, Paul, for your kindness. Oh, thank you.
Any other questions?
We had some people who went to the women in leadership, women in ministry. We had some people who went to that one. There's a that it talked about some ways that women, some historically people who have been in ministry, and then also how you might, as a female, be a part of ministry. Was a part of that.
Any other questions? Specifically to Scott?
Scott.
Just Scott.
I feel like I've gotten a lot closer to Jesus and going like to all these youth events and like FCA on Sundays. I just feel like I'm closer, and I don't know, it was just really cool, and I just feel just very changed in like a very happy, loving way. I just feel like I'm
I guess I can do that. I got like a lot closer to like some new people I've never met before, and kind of made friends with a lot of new people, and got closer to the people I already know.
I didn't go to too many workshops because there was this frequency that no one else heard, which made me look really crazy, but I could hear it, and it was in all the rooms. But I did go to one that was called How to Lovingly Disagree and Coexist with Others, and I've been really working on that all year, and people say that I've been doing a good job, so I've been working on it.
You got one clue? You got one little thing you could share?
He told me to pause, breathe, then act with love. So I've been saying it in my brain over and over again.
See flat John Wesley?
Yeah, we have a picture. I had a picture of half of his back.
Talk about Noah.
That's weird.
No, you should talk about the dolphin.
I was really surprised by the number of friends that I made. I didn't think I was gonna make that many friends because I got some friends here, and like, it was surprising to we made lots and lots and lots of friends. But it was cool to see how other people from the Dakotas and even other people from the nation are just like, when youth are among youth, they are so ready and willing to talk. They're so like they can just like vibe. It's nice to be surrounded by people that you are similar to and can relate to. So I didn't think I was gonna make that many friends, but I definitely did. And I got way closer to a lot of people that I kind of forgot about. So yeah, it was a really nice experience.
You mean that in the most loving way possible. Yes.
Questions?
Yeah? What you gonna say?
Nothing, I was just holding the mic.
Speak it. Speak your truth.
I thought you had a big ice thing to share.
All right. There was a lot of challenges to this experience, a lot of things that we had to overcome, and that's what makes that actually is what highlights leadership, right? Leadership shows up, and character of leadership shows up when there's adversity. And this group showed it over and over again. And we joked about some of them, but the reality is that these young people were exposed. It showed who they really were, and from even when it was on me or on one of our leaders, that it caused it to be more of a struggle. These young people stepped up and said, "All right, well, let's figure it out. How are we can do it next? What's the next thing we're going to do?" We had a young man who got lost. He didn't really get lost, but in our mind, he was lost. And this group dropped everything, gathered up. We didn't leave the 99. We gathered up the 99 and drugged them around with us while we looked for this other one, right? And we took care of making sure that the one that we thought was missing, that just happened to be with a different group that no one knew. It doesn't matter. Anyway, it was fine. So anyway, we found him. Life was good. When we did walk out of security, and instantly a phone call, a message got back to the group. Hey, this is what happened. This is what I'm doing to solve it. And open communication. We kept relating back and forth. Everything worked out well. I mean, everything, it could not have gone better for somebody. For one, if you think about it, one youth out of your whole group to get separated from the group by a security checkpoint, right? To get separated from the group by a security checkpoint, that could be a very, very traumatic moment. And instead it wasn't. Instead it was a time when we just waited, and we worked it out, and we planned, and we figured out how to handle it from this side. He communicated back to us over and over again, and rejoined the group, and everything went well. I can't explain any better than it was a highlight of just how wonderful it was. I couldn't be with the group a lot of the time because our leaders got influenza A, got COVID. We had somebody who was just started on new medication, so they were sort of down. So like kind of 3 out of our top 4 leaders were not about it, like 40% or worse, right? And so, if I'll tell you this, it's you guys know me. I was the one in charge for like 3 days, right? And we all and because there's youth that say, we're on a trip together. We're going to make this a great thing. We're going to succeed. We're going to thrive. We did. And we had an experience that we all go, yeah, that was good. Not, oh, I wish we wouldn't have had to do that, right? So I want you to know how wonderful and how thankful we are for all the things that you did to make it possible for us to go, all the ways you continue to support us and love us as we continue to grow and develop and experience what it is to be leaders in the world. But we want to thank you. And let you know that you made a difference in our lives. Amen? Amen. All right, you made a difference in our lives by your willingness to say, yes, go do it. Go experience something different. Go out in the world and be the people that you're called to be out somewhere else, not here. Because you already get to see it here. And we want to come back and do it here too. But thank you for sending us out there to do it there too. Thank you.